The following is a hockey podcast out of Vancouver and Surrey, British Columbia. It'll only consist of a lot of puck talk and even more BS, or in actual words, banter and satire. Enjoy, and as always, go Canucks go.
You're Locked On Canucks, your daily podcast on the Vancouver Canucks. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome to another episode of Locked On Canucks. My name is Kyle Bhawan, but more importantly, this is the show that gives you your Canucks every day. It also gives you all of that West Coast bias. And I've been living heavy with that West Coast bias for a very long time. Feeding off the city. Some would say I'm a culture vulture, right? What if I was more like Surrey, the actual city where I'm from? Whatever that means. More on that on another show, okay? For real. Where was I? This game, your Canucks, against those Calgary Flames, and barely escaping Calgary with a win. And I do want to touch on the barely part just a bit. Why is Tyler Myers killing penalties in a game you sort of kind of have to win with a minute left in the game? I know you're up by 2, but that's inexcusable. And on the other hand, why is Nikita Zadorov doing the same thing? Now I know I'm maybe spewing out a lot of unjust anger / disgust for it, because if you think about it, 40 seconds earlier, 30 seconds earlier, those two were on the ice defending a 1-goal lead and produced an empty net goal, which again, I was questioning. They made me eat it there. But we're talking about a penalty kill. We're talking about 40 seconds left in the game, 50 seconds left in the game. Get Hronek out there, no matter what. No matter what. Get Hughes out there, no matter what. And don't get Tyler Myers and company out there. It makes not a lot of sense. Noah Juleson, not making a lot of sense to me why he consistently gets to have this runway without any interruption. Who would you rather have play games for your Vancouver Canucks? Noah Juleson or Mark Friedman? For me, the answer is easy. People, before we move on to what I feel great about regarding your Vancouver Canucks and my overall feelings post that game against the Calgary Flames, I do got to mention that while going on a spiel, I never talked about Nikita Zadorov once. And this guy had the game-winning goal for about 45 minutes until they changed it to Pettersson. All in all, I don't want to see this guy play more than 13 minutes a game, 14 minutes a game. I think if the Canucks can somehow find a way to do that and kind of treat it like a Tyler Myers situation, you can get a lot out of Nikita Zadorov, okay? Everything in balance. That's the saying in life. And a good dose, like the right amount of Nikita Zadorov, could be special based on the physicality, the toughness, and again, just having somewhat of an outlier on your team. But get too much of him, and I don't know. It's been one game, and again, look what I did in the first 3 minutes of this episode. Kind of feeling dark right now. But yeah, just through one game. That's how it feels like. I know it's only one game, but yeah. Number 5 defenseman, a good one. Thank you, Alvin and Rutherford. Let's get back to regular programming on this post-game show. Anyways, let's talk about the good. I should have shut up a long time ago and just went straight to this. I know. I care too much. Anywho, Connor Garland. That dude balled out today. The second best Canuck out there. Maybe the second best hockey player out there tonight. That role, right? As a play driver on full display today. And I think it's a certain that this guy will stick around for the whole year, right? And that's maybe not the strongest thing to say, but hey, the Vancouver Canucks make a lot of trades. They've made, 60%, 70% of all NHL trades since the end of training camp. Am I right on that? Maybe. Anything is possible. And maybe, yeah, that contract and that term and overall the production, right? The box sheet, not just the term play driver, the box sheet. It's not there for Connor Garland. That contract is impossible to move, not going to move. He's going to be a Canuck this season, and we're lucky for that. We are. Because games matter again. And when games matter, they're harder to win. And a lot of those games that are hard to win, sometimes, just sometimes, right? Your guys at the top aren't going to get it done. But that doesn't mean you're going to lose games all the time that when that happens. And why is that? It's because you got guys like Connor Garland. You got guys like Niels Höglander. Disrupting, making things happen. Seeking for momentum. Garland, man, drive and play, drawing penalties, trying to make things happen, and overall just never made a bad play. It seemed that way. Excited, man. Excited for the playoffs. A lot of things can happen, a lot of moments. I do guarantee that as long as Garland is a Canuck, and if this team ever makes a long run, we're talking playing 12 games, 14 games, 16 games, 20 games. We're up there, 23 games. Now we dreaming. We believing. If that all happens, Connor Garland is going to be a big reason why this team wins 2 of those games, 3 of those games. That dude, man, makes things happen. A good hockey player. I think the term we often use is, again, the play driver thing. I think the more realistic term to use for him is he's just a good hockey player. Can't have enough of those on your team. Speaking of good hockey players, Quinn Hughes, damn near perfect today. Hey, Filip Hronek, damn near perfect today. Those two making history. Speaking of history, man, we just saw what the Canucks did, right? Zadorov. Making the trades. Trading a 3rd-round pick for ultimately a number 5 defenseman. One of the first teams to use the rental market. Delusional. Could be, right? Because the Canucks, 40 days ago, were just trying to take a step and a half and get to the playoffs and impress Pettersson and extend him. And now the narrative, it's growing, possibly. And I believe, because I'm feeling it, right? The West Coast bias, I always talk about it. This is home for the West Coast bias. I feel as if it's in the air. And it's not just produced by the fans. I think the people within that organization are breathing the same gas. And they're saying the same things internally. We might have a chance. We can maybe capitalize on luck. It's saying a lot for a team that doesn't have a lot of experience, but they have a lot of star power. A lot of history being made by the top of the class for this roster. Constantly. And we're through 25 games, and it's kind of slowed down, but while it's slowed down, Brock Boeser and Filip Hronek have been able to, pile it up in certain games. And be notable. Always stats and facts being spewed out for the viewership regarding your Vancouver Canucks accomplishing something in the offensive realm. And it's pretty incredible that there's 5 players doing it. Not 3, not 2, 5. You need more than 5, I know, but 5 is a lot to have at the top of their class. Look at it. They're all at the top of their class, and we're 25 games in. That's pretty historic. Go ahead and be lucky. and then tap into that, and you can even be more lucky. On that note, and this is probably the last thing I'll say, Demko's got to be better. Because he's that guy. He's that guy. Because goaltending is that position. And a lot of the best athletes in the world, right? They go through their, what do they call it? The ebbs and flows. Whatever that means. And I think Demko right now is just kind of average. / I wouldn't say completely lost, but not nowhere close to peak Demko. And when he's on, like really on, and then you sprinkle in the luck and the top end talent and just being more deep now, trading for rental like players. If all 4 of those things are going within a 7-game series, you best believe you're winning that round. Quote unquote, getting lucky. Now, I think Canucks fans across the globe can kind of feel that. I also think people internally in that building are feeling that too. We got to ask Faber, man. He's on the inside now. Is there talk about making a deep run this year? It feels that way, man. The games, they matter. And you saw what I did off the top, man. Just wrecked the Vancouver Canucks after a win. I'm sorry. I'm trying to be better. But right now, the passion, man, it's back. The dream is back. And these games matter. They matter so much so that there should never be a point where Tyler Myers is on the ice with a minute left and you're killing a penalty up by 1 or 2 goals. Defensive zone draw. 57 seconds left. Yeah, it doesn't seem like a lot of time, but if they win the faceoff and score within the first 10 to 15 seconds of them developing a play, bruh. You're talking disaster. Where am I going? Where am I going with this? Okay, just less Myers playing in important parts of the game and less Noah Juleson, and go Canucks go, man. One love. My name's Kyle Bhawan. That was a little conversation post what we saw in Calgary. We'll be back doing what we normally do on Monday. And I promise to get better, man. I'll be more optimistic, man. I'm just going through it right now. I'm going through it. I promise to be 100% optimistic at one point again in the near future. But right now, it is what it is. My name's Kyle Bhawan. Another conversation about your Canucks. Peace.